Okay, religion or spirituality still functions just fine without one being an atheist or a theist in relation to it. One doesn't have to be a race car driver or a mechanic to use a car. I wrote that earlier at work. And I think it's very true. You know, it's like I can watch a Disney movie with a child. Let's say I'm there with my older brother's son, or somebody has kids and I'm there watching the kids or something. I can get the jokes in those movies that are there for adults, and there's a lot of adult like themes in Disney movies, like jokes you'll see like parents laugh at, but the kids won't. The kids kind of look at the parents like, "What the hell? Why is he laughing?" And I think there's a lot of truth in that. You know, it's like if you can really see beyond the stuff. And somebody says, "Well, why would you even talk about that? It's 2023, isn't that old, outdated?" But I think if there's information that's good, then there's information that's good, that's worthwhile. And I definitely think that anything that's been around for a long time, thousands of years, has been around for a while because it serves a purpose in human psychology. And I think if something was going to burn out, I think it would have already happened. I really do. I think if there was some advanced intelligence, an alien of some sort, or some sort of advanced computational thing that humans are creating in the near future, this thing would look at people and sit there and say, well, there's people that utilize religion to be good, and then there's people that utilize religion to harm others. So I think it would actually understand intelligence with the people that are actually utilizing it for good. I think that it would be intelligent enough to differentiate between the two, so that somebody didn't, you could tell who was doing what for what reasons. I think some people latch on to stuff because it's cultural, and it puts them in this cultural context, but they're only doing it because it's cultural. They're not doing it because they've actually seen something of worth within it. Say if you went to church and you were sent to church for 20 years straight, and you never really understood, you just went because your family went, it was just this thing, that's more like this cultural kind of conditioning. But if you went and you understood some of the stories, the metaphors, the allegories, the things of that nature in there, it might actually have more of a relevance to you, and then actually kind of destroy the legalism and the dogma that's oftentimes associated with it. So you can see that as being something that wouldn't be able to be culled or purged from planet Earth. Especially if you're an intelligent being, a truly intelligent being, you'd be able to differentiate between the two. You wouldn't sit there and say, well, someone's stupid, they're holding on to this little belief that some guy, if some people think religion's made up. I mean, I'm not an atheist or a theist, I don't insult anybody's beliefs. And some people think religion's, authored by the hand of some deity. Most religions, are authored by the hand of some deity. So the point is that I think if there was some intelligent entity of some sort, it would actually be able to understand and differentiate between how someone, who is utilizing it properly, was utilizing that thing compared to somebody that was, going to start a war with someone over the thing. I think it would see the difference. One was, some guy going to donate to the homeless, and feeding the homeless and giving the shirt off his back and helping people whenever he could, and the other one was, going to throw a Molotov cocktail at someone, because they had a difference of opinion. They're from a different area of the town. So it's kind of like what I'm getting at. Like, there's a different way of looking at stuff. You watch a Disney movie, you don't always catch the jokes. You don't see the stuff, but, kids laugh at things oftentimes different than what adults do. And the adult could be the metaphor for the person that actually is seeing the metaphor, the allegory, within the religious context that is timeless, as opposed to, the other people that are trying to throw stones at each other are the ones that are the children that are sitting there, they're too caught up in the simplicity of it. To them, it's like it's something to throw stones about, rather than all this stuff that's in a lot of holy books is there to paint a story. Walking on water, what might that be seen as? It's a metaphor for trusting your friends when you're really in the dire situation. We've all been there before. You have to trust your friends when you're basically drowning in water. You're drowning in a tough situation, and someone loves you enough. There's this old school rave song. It's like, I'd walk on water just to be with you. I'd walk on water just to be with you. Anyway, the point is this. That's very true. It's like, that's a good metaphor for trust. For who you trust, that person would probably walk on water for. That's what the saying represents. Like, trust your friends to get you back in the boat when you've fallen off. So anyway, it's just a thought. And that's my thing on that. I just don't get why people think that because something is. See, the thing is like, if something's really old and it's lasted this long in a current modern society, it's lasted for a reason, not because it's outdated, not because people don't like it. I mean, 85 to 86% of the world right now is spiritual or religious. It's like that for a reason, because I think people, it's like, imagine if you get up, you go to your 9 to 5, you get your 9 to 5, 10 to 2, whatever your hours are, excuse me, and, you do your work, and then you come back and you cook dinner, and if you have, a spouse or kids or something like that, that's kind of like your life, and that could be boring, but you could find something else that could give you, what else is there? You start questioning things. You see stuff on TV or computers or, news, whatever you're reading, your information is, wherever you're gathering your information from, and it really makes you want to, be a part of or believe that there's something better out there. You get hard if all you did was go to work and everybody just complained, and that's kind of all you got. But, it's just all you're hearing is constant complaining and people bickering about not having enough. So you might look for something greater than yourself and then find that in something. And so it's no wonder that 85% of the world, is a certain place. And then I read this thing with a sociologist. He was saying that, it's basically like how society functions is... Oh, shit. Sorry, there's a truck here to pause it. I don't know if it's going to put like a thing in the video. But, anyway, this guy was reading about, how some people thought, like, more atheistic countries were better off. Something like, seven of the world's countries are more atheistic than theistic. And they're very peaceful places, but you can't forcibly take people's religion away from them. When you try to forcibly take the religion away, it causes violence. And that makes sense. You have freedom of speech, freedom of religion for a reason. So yeah, freedom of speech, freedom of religion for a reason. And, you can't take those things away. And you try to forcibly take those things away, it causes an issue. But when people give them up naturally, that's when the countries the 7 countries, I forget which ones they are, but have more atheists than theists, those 7 are actually very peaceful. Only when people are trying to force somebody to take their religion away, that's where violence arises. So you can see how that happens, like when you have two sides, like a dividing line between two cultures. One side tries to take the other's religious affiliation or associations away, and that can cause an issue between the two. So see how that works? It's like, this is why to be, I think, like I was saying about this entity that has this advanced entity would be able to tell, basically, I don't think it would want to take people's belief structures away. I think that would be dumbed down. I think it would be able to, basically see who's doing what for the right reasons and why. I think that's an important thing in all this. Anyway, it's just a thought.